This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLesio and Kenny Bergamy.
Or as some people call us, the dynamic duds, two old guys behind a desk. Look, we don't care. As long as you're watching, that is all that matters. Jokes aside, welcome to the show. A lot to cover this week, including our recent trip across the Caribbean.
That's right, Puerto Rico and the annual American Farm Bureau Convention. And what a statement Georgia made, not only by a couple of young farmers, but also the company that won People's Choice Award in the Ag Innovation Challenge. Puerto Rico, though, not our only destination. We're also going to head to Savannah to show you what took place at the annual Southeast Regional Fruit and Vegetable Conference. Plus,
well, everybody, Ranger Nick, coming up a little bit later, you know, this cold weather might have you on a remote part of your property, and if something goes wrong, you're going to want to stick around. I'm going to talk to a person that's got a lot of stuff to tell us about surviving outdoors, maybe when that lighter doesn't work and that cell phone doesn't work, and it might include building a fire with something like this. That and a whole lot more starts right now on the Farm Monitor.
Bienvenidos a Puerto Rico. Welcome to Puerto Rico.
After years of planning and endless challenges, including two major hurricanes, San Juan finally got to say, "Welcome mi familia" to American Farm Bureau's annual convention. It's a time to unite and hear the opinions of current agriculture leaders as well as future ag leaders on the current state of the farming industry. It's also a time to put aside the daily stresses of farm life and enjoy the sights and sounds the host city has to offer, or in this case, the host island.
San Juan right now so far will be the top of the list. We've been to a lot of conventions, a lot of places, and this compares to anything we have in the United States. I mean, it's still the United States, but it's just as good or better. Their convention center is wonderful. It's a large facility, state of the art.
I was pleasantly surprised at all the facilities in the hotels down here, and there's a good crowd. They talk like there's going to be, they expecting around 5,000 people from across the country.
For me, as president of Puerto Rico Farm Bureau and also my board of directors, it's an honor to have all of you in Puerto Rico learning about the tropical agriculture that is very different, knowing about the food, the local commodities. So for us, that is a great opportunity.
And let's be honest, a convention in Puerto Rico, beautiful weather, palm trees everywhere, you really can't beat it. And while many of the attendees use this convention as a destination vacation, for the GFB young farmers taking part in the various competitions, vacations aside, this was also a business trip.
It is 100% a business trip. I come down here with a job and task at mind, and also, like I said, to meet new people and experience this convention. This is my first time ever attending American Farm Bureau, so I want to soak it in and learn. So that was my main reason coming down here.
Admitting he was nervous before his presentation in the Excellence in Ag competition, Brian Fleming of Hart County says he stayed up all night rehearsing, which resulted in little to no sleep. But once he got going, Brian was smooth, confident, and spoke with emotion when expressing his passion for agriculture.
From my time I was a little boy, I mean, ag's been my life. And as I got older, Farm Bureau became my life, and them two combined together. And like I said in that last slide, I want the future generations to have that same opportunity that have been afforded to me over the years. So that's where my passion comes from.
Brian, however, wasn't the only one with passion on his side. Willie Sizemore of Leesburg had a virtual cakewalk to the Sweet 16 of the discussion meet. This future lawyer arrived in Puerto Rico with well-thought-out opinions and ideas for the purpose of problem solving, which, of course, is the whole premise of these discussions.
What's interesting about this competition compared to the state is you get all these nationwide perspectives. You know, we had an individual who was competing with us that raised pigs in Nevada outside of Las Vegas and fed leftovers from the casinos to their operation to reduce input costs. You know, we got to wake up early in the morning, put on a suit at the beach. And that's kind of not a normal thing you would do. But it's important to represent Georgia Farm Bureau this way and to represent our county Farm Bureau, Lee County Farm Bureau. For me, it's important to show up prepared and do well, and that's why I'm here, is to do well. And, you know, it might be a business trip, but it's a fun trip at the same time.
We were able to enroll Golden Valley Farms in our USDA-funded pilot study.
Last but not least, congratulations to Cobb County-based Mycologic for receiving the People's Choice Award in the AFBF Ag Innovation Challenge. Mycologic is a proprietary software startup that helps mushroom growers to scale their production of specialty varieties. The prize for being voted the People's Choice Award, $5,000, in addition to the $10,000 the company won as one of 9 semifinalists.
Such a prestigious event like the Ag Innovation Challenge, to be the first representatives from Georgia that has a long-standing history of excellence in agriculture. Just really flattering, very humbling.
For the Farm Monitor, I'm Ray D'Alessio, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
All right, Ray, thanks so much. Well, no doubt one of the bigger announcements in San Juan was the Memorandum of Understanding with John Deere, ensuring farmers and ranchers the right to repair their own equipment. American Farm Bureau President Zippy Duvall saying the memorandum addresses a long-running issue when it comes to accessing tools, information, and resources, while also protecting John Deere's intellectual property rights and ensuring equipment safety. The agreement also allows for access to diagnostic and repair codes, as well as manuals and product guides. GFB President Tom McCall was one of 4 State Farm Bureau presidents who served on the advisory board that gave input on the memorandum.
I think this is a relief for a lot of our farmers in Georgia. Georgia's been pushing this over several years, even when I was in the legislature. We had an individual right to repair bill. And the fact that a farmer writes a check for a piece of equipment and can't fix it is something that needed to be worked on. And that's what this does. The good thing about this MOU is it's a living, breathing document.
I can't be more proud of the team that's negotiated this agreement. And I hope that John Deere is the first of many equipment companies that will come to the table and have a same kind of agreement with us.
Up next, they made quite a statement in Puerto Rico, but their success didn't happen by accident. A profile on Georgia-based Mycologic LLC when the Farm Monitor continues.
Well, we got tough as a 2-year-old. We bonded rather quickly.
She lives to work and she lives for Denny. The more that Denny worked her, the more apparent it was that she was an exceptional dog.
It's National Western. She was the reserve champion. This is from 2014 at the Houston Stock Show. That jacket was Tufts. She made the cover of the magazine. Cover girl.
She's a cover girl.
This buckle that she won was just not very long before she got hurt. Fortunate to have that one. We were working some heifers out here, and she sustained a severe spinal cord injury, left her paralyzed from the neck down, couldn't move anything. They were unsure what the recovery would be, if there'd be any recovery. Things started to progress in a positive direction. You could just tell every day that she was getting a little better and a little better. She worked up to where she was probably 90% back to normal again.
It was obvious that she still wanted to work, so we come up with jobs for her to do to give her purpose.
Tough has obviously slowed down since the injury, but in her mind, she's still 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and nobody's gonna tell her any different. She still loves to work, and so what we're doing out here today, we're working for her now. It's probably what keeps her going, really. I mean, outside of being your companion, her favorite thing in the world to do is what she's doing right here, right now. That's what she's done her whole life, and she's happy when she's doing it. Probably the biggest thing that she teaches is to be happy in your circumstances. And we all have stuff happen that obviously we don't want to happen. And if you understand the journey that she's come through, we can learn to be happy in our circumstances too, whatever they are.
Earlier in the show, we showed you Georgia-based MycoLogic winning the People's Choice Award at this year's annual Ag Innovation Challenge. David Jones now on how this startup company hopes to make life a little easier for mushroom growers.
On the outside, these might look like just your ordinary shipping containers. But take a look on the inside and you might get a sneak peek into the future of mushroom production as this prototype from MycoLogic implements controlled environment technology designed to maximize harvests.
It's about providing the optimized conditions to reduce the time for cropping as well as to increase the yields of the mushrooms that were produced. So the old adage, time is money, right? So the faster you can grow more mushrooms, the more profitable your operation is.
The biggest obstacle to making a profit is the ever-rising cost of production. However, growing mushrooms in this kind of controlled environment keeps those expenses to a minimum.
Yeah, so the biggest difference between plants and mushrooms is that mushrooms can grow in the complete absence of light. So you save a lot of energy, or save a lot of money on not having to use energy to produce light. So in this container, we operate at about $20 to $30 a month.
Another benefit to this type of production is farmers can make use of the byproducts their crops produce by fertilizing different types of mushrooms.
Yeah, one of our initiatives is trying to find locally sourced agricultural waste materials and then developing the correct formulation or the ideal ratio for different species of mushrooms to grow on. So if we can find an area, say in Georgia, that has a large amount of cotton gin byproduct, peanut shells, corn chaff, we can sort of tailor what mushrooms would grow ideal for that particular region.
That would not only be beneficial to the farmer's bottom line, but also the environment as a whole.
You know, there's a lot of byproduct in Georgia, whether it be peanut hulls or spent cotton gin byproduct that are perfectly suitable for mushroom cultivation, and they're produced in thousands of tons. All right, and so if we can recapture some of those residues to create a value-added product, not only is that good for sustainability, but it's also good for the state's economy.
It also adds to the circular economy where we're recycling. We're taking these byproducts that would be a burden to the farmer. They would sit in the field or they would be burned, which is bad for the environment. And then we can turn those into products that can grow mushrooms.
This idea already has a number of believers as MycoLogic has partnered with multiple farmers across the state, which is the first step in their 5-year journey finally coming to fruition.
We are both applied scientists, so we're always looking to move discoveries out of the academic laboratory and into the market to realize the full potential. So the overall goal for the project is to continue to refine the technology based off of customer feedback and partnerships with existing growers and come up with a minimal viable product that we hope to launch in 2023.
Reporting from Cobb County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Well, it's a proven fact that whenever growers get together to share thoughts and ideas, good things happen. That's exactly what the Monitor's John Holcomb witnessed when he ventured to Savannah.
For the past 21 years, fruit and vegetable growers from all over the Southeast have made their way to the annual Southeast Regional Fruit and Vegetable Conference, a 4-day event that's purpose is to equip producers within the industry with all the tools they need to see success back on their operations.
We are back in person in Savannah for the Southeast Regional Fruit and Vegetable Conference. Our attendance is at record levels, but it's the one place where you can bring together all of the fruit and vegetable production side of the industry, all under one roof. So everything a grower needs, from seeds and equipment to fertilizer, and then most importantly is knowledge. We've got 4 full days of education sessions full of real-world information that our growers can take back and put to use on the farm. One of the great things about our industry is that we share. We share information, we share expertise, and we share knowledge. And these offer the opportunities for growers to come together not only amongst themselves, but also with experts from the universities and extension and other researchers to share that information, take it back to the farm, increase their yields, make themselves more profitable.
One of the educational topics discussed at the conference was food safety, an issue that Rob Martin with the UGA Small Business Development Center says is vital to the fruit and vegetable industry and believes it's something that can be controlled.
We know from the data that annually 1 in 6 people in the United States get sick from some kind of foodborne illness. So of those numbers, the amount that are hospitalized, the amount that die, 3,000 people a year die due to food contamination. So when you think about the importance, that's the importance. I can handle getting ill and sick after eating something, but putting me in the hospital, losing a family member because of something like that, that's pretty serious. And when we know food safety is basically something we control.
And according to Alexis Hamilton, Extension Specialist with Virginia Tech, food safety is a matter that must be practiced by every single person working on the operation.
There's so many people that are involved in producing food and making sure that everyone is on board with every action that they partake in the packing house or in your fresh produce operation. Making sure that every one of those is aimed at producing safe food is going to go a long way to ensuring that the product that makes it to the market is one that we can safely enjoy.
However, making that a reality is a different story, which is why Martin believes the best way to make sure everyone is doing their part is by making food safety a part of the culture within the operation.
Just like anything else with an operation, if the owner, the manager, the line down is not bought into the process, we can't expect our employees and workers to be bought in. So it's important for us to understand as managers and owners that if we don't show it and exude it and give that example, then we can't expect our employees to. So that's the importance of kind of building that culture, going about that process, and just making sure it's a requirement and a focus on importance for the operation.
Reporting in Savannah for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Well, everybody, Ranger Nick, no, I'm not laying down on the job. This little setup right here, made out of 3 common household items, could save your life if you happen to be stranded on your property, and I'll explain how next. Well, there's nothing like a nice warm fire on a January day to get you warmed up, and it's that kind of a fire that you may need if you're out driving around on the back 40 in the tractor checking on the livestock. What if something happens? That cell phone's not working, you don't have an ability to build that with a lighter, what are you going to do? And I want to introduce you to somebody this month that knows something about that. That's Casey Debbie. Hey, Casey.
Great to see you, Nick.
It's great to be out here with you. Let me tell you something. Casey is the grand poobah. He is the owner of Georgia Bushcraft, which is an outdoor education center right in Watkinsville, Georgia, not far from where I live, that teaches people how to survive outdoors. Casey, you and I are standing in front of a bag today that before we got on here, we talked about taking a bag like this, a kit with you outdoors every time you get in that tractor, every time you get in that truck, if something goes wrong. Can we talk about what's inside of this today? Absolutely. What should the folks at home know to put in this bag?
Absolutely, Nick. So it's really all about that kit mentality, but it's also what sort of multi-purpose items can you pack with you that, let's say your phone doesn't work, you don't have a lighter breaks, whatever. What sort of foundational items do you need to bring with you everywhere that you, 1, know how to use, and 2, always have them with you? So let's open up the bag here real quick, and I'll show you some of those items. Probably the most important items, starting from the top. Having some sort of knife or fire starting item, and we can get into that in a little bit. A shelter, all right? So if it's a really cold day and you need to get warm fast and you got to wait for somebody to come get you, having something that can reflect your heat back to your body so you're not dealing with exposure or hypothermia, something like that, it's really hard to recreate.
And that has that on the inside. Yep. Take a look at this, gang. That has that reflective coating, really important. Would never have thought that.
Yep. So, and they make all different sizes of them too. This one's a little bit larger one, but they make more packable size ones in there. But something as simple as a trash bag. So you have a 55-gallon drum liner, all right? So you can use this for multiple different things. Insulation, carrying water, protect yourself from the elements, raining, all sorts of stuff like that. Cordage. So that's another really big thing. So having something that you can tie tarps to set up that shelter, it's really hard to recreate this in nature. And then back to the fire, really having different types of tinder sources. So you can use fatwood, which is a naturally occurring fire starting substance that comes right from a pine tree. So basically, once you harvest a piece of this fatwood from a pine tree stump, all you do is take the back of your knife or a sharp piece of metal maybe, take it, pile it up in a little bundle here.
Look at that. And the same with dryer lint we were talking about.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Something that's fluffy and that has a lot of surface area that can take heat quickly and basically make it into an actual flame. So basically, you just scrape right onto it, and there you go.
All right, so here's the scenario. You're on the back side of your property on that gator, you wreck the gator, your cell phone that was on the gator, you've broken that now, temperatures are cooling down, you're gonna have to stay out in the woods overnight. Thank goodness though, you watch this segment and learn from Casey about building yourself a survival bag. Of course, I built mine right here that was easy to find on that gator. And Casey, through the magic of television, we are going to use the supplies that we pulled out of our bag, which include what?
So basically your 3 items you're gonna need: cordage, a 55-gallon drum liner, and emergency tarp.
Got mine right here, and now what we're gonna do, Casey's gonna set this up, and then we're gonna kind of dissect and talk about what did you just build and what do we need to know to survive. Well, we built the shelter. Casey has constructed this thing with those 3 things that we talked about from our bag: the tarp, the string, and the lovely trash bag that's now got a bunch of leaves in it. It's made a mattress. Talk to us about where we're placing this under here, Casey.
So basically, we've got our filled up mattress of leaves. The most important part about this is you're insulating your torso. You're not as much worried about your legs. As long as you're keeping your vital organs more insulated from the cold earth, that's really what you're looking for with this. And to be a little bit more comfortable too.
And now we're ready to spend the night in the woods. Next morning, get that gator fixed, and we're ready to roll on to the last part of this, which is a little homework assignment for you at home. So let's go there next. Well, there's no doubt we've thrown a lot at you today in terms of making fire, building a shelter like this. If something happened to you on your farm or on your property in general, Casey, how can they learn more after watching this segment today?
Yeah, so you can find us at georgiabushcraft.com, or if you live in Georgia or the Southeast or even anywhere in the country, come out to one of our classes or events. We host them pretty much every other weekend. We have 2 main ones a year, but it's a lot of fun. So.
Gosh, and I had no idea about this. Had it not been for my wife, got to get a plug in there, introduced me to this idea and introduced me to Casey. So thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you, Nick.
I've learned an incredible amount. Thank you. And y'all know what to do while you're online on GeorgiaBushcraft.com, checking out some of that upcoming events and merchandise and things. Hop on over to the Ranger Nick Facebook page, check out what I've got going on. And until next time, for the Farm Monitor, as I always say, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you that enthusiasm is contagious. So pass it on. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you right back here again, this time next month. See ya.
Vic, thanks so much, and thank you for making this show possible.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Stay safe and have a great week.